Finding the roots or factors of a polynomial. Step 1, what is the degree of the polynomial? Step 2, find and list all possible roots. Step 3, test the possible roots using the remainder theorem, or in Apex they did this with synthetic division. Step 4, the first root is the one with a remainder 0. If you use synthetic division and you get a remainder of 0, you have found a root. Use synthetic division to divide out the first root. Step 5, use synthetic division to divide out the first root. Step 6, factor the reduced polynomial. Step 7, write the original polynomial as a product of its factors. Okay, so we're going to factor the polynomial completely. Step 1, what is the degree of this polynomial? The degree is 3. That means we're expecting 3 roots or 3 answers. Step 2, find and list all possible roots. So we're going to use the P over Q's. P is 4 and Q is 1. So we're going to do P over Q to list all possible roots. So P over Q is plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 4. Step 3, test the possible roots using the remainder theorem. So you have 2 options here. In Apex, they use synthetic division to divide by all possible roots, or we can use the remainder theorem. So to use the remainder theorem, we're going to plug in all our possible roots and look for a remainder of 0. If we get a remainder of 0, we have found a root. So we have to plug in all our possible zeros, all of our possible roots, and look for the one that gives us a remainder of 0. So I didn't have to do this by hand. I plugged it into Desmos, and this right here gives me the answer when I substitute this number. So when I plug in -1, I get an answer of 6. So this is obviously not a root. Next, let's plug in +1. So I can see that 1, take away 1 is 0, take away 4 plus 4, I get a remainder of 0. So 1 is a root. So x minus 1 is my first factor. Notice when 1 is the root, x minus 1 is my first factor. Those are opposite in sign. Step 4, use synthetic division to divide out the first root. So I'm going to take x cubed minus x squared minus 4x plus 4 and divide it by x minus 1 using synthetic division. So I take all the coefficients of my polynomial and put them into synthetic division. Now, I was expecting a remainder of 0. Now, I was expecting a remainder of 0 because I knew that this was one of the factors. So this was x cubed. This becomes the coefficient of x squared. This would be x, and this is the coefficient of my constant term. I divide out the x minus 1, and I get x squared minus 4. Factor x squared minus 4 factors into x plus 2 minus 2. Next step, bring the x minus 1 down. So I have factored my polynomial of degree 3 into 3 factored terms.